Sometimes it does seem strange to me that when I found my half-sister's death, I'd been looking for it at that time, 11 years. One of the ways I occupied myself in the summer of '98, after leaving my master's degree, was to try to find Karen Ann. Born Oakley, died Montgomery. In 2009, I finally went to Twickenham. I also went to a number of other places because I went to London several times that summer and autumn. That summer, I was coughing a great deal. So much, in fact, it went on for all the months that I was going, which actually was something like July to November. And the cough went on. And chronic bronchitis did cross my mind. Luckily, I didn't really understand what chronic bronchitis meant at the time. I didn't understand that it was a sentence of death by slow suffocation. And the thought popped into my head, and nonetheless, say what you will, unless somebody comes up with a magical cure for COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis. I began to die in the year that I found my half-sister's death. Well, of course, that's not strictly true, is it? It must have been there before. But it was the time that I became aware of it. That might almost be enough to make me believe in the supernatural. I went looking for death and I found it. And I did have an option that summer. And the option was to go to Southampton and live there. With Flossie, my dog. My then dog. I decided I couldn't go home until I had found out what had become of Karen Ann. I think now that was a terrible mistake, because I know so much that I can't actually say it on all these videos. As many as I've uploaded, I cannot explain in speech what I can explain in writing. The trains of thoughts just don't gel quite so well. I can't explain myself quite so well, how I reached such conclusions, etc. And by the way, I do know that there are connections to the Elm Guest House and to Dolphin Square. So very much resent it when someone comes along and says, I don't think those things happened. I take it very personally. Very personally. Because of the connections. Of course, finding Karen's death was not the end, it was the beginning. Because then I found her inquest notes. Then I found Fiona's inquest notes as well. Some months elapsed between the two. I got Karen's inquest notes in the September of 2009 and found Fiona's finally in August of the following year. So nearly a year elapsed before I could compare them. However, I did go to work immediately on Karen's inquest notes and on everyone who was named at the inquest. Those people being Robin Quigley, the man who drove the bike, Frederick Coulson, the man who drove the van, Thomas William Montgomery, her stepfather, although I'd already done a huge amount of work on him, because there were so many parallels between his life and my father's life, apart from a woman in common. So then the addresses were given in the inquest notes, which enabled me to go to the electoral rolls of Desmond Oakley, who was not named but at the inquest, but was named as Karen's father. Frederick Cosson and his family. Very difficult to tell whether it was the father or son in that household who had driven the van. I got very interested in the entire household. Very. Robin Quigley's household and the people who had lived with, who may or may not have been his parents. I had found no evidence whatsoever, in fact, that they were his parents. For example, perhaps a birth entry would have been good. And then, of course, when I found Fiona's inquest notes, I was able to make comparisons. And 2011, when I was going to work on both sets of inquest notes, was, oh my god. Oh my god. I found the entry for Olive and Phyllis Oakley, where I'd been looking for my mother's entry into England from abroad. And what do I not know now about those two women? Not much. I found that in 2011. And it was big. It was big because of my mother's birthday belonging to Olive and the fact that they came into country on my date of birth. Later that year, I found the second alias Dick Oakley, having died on the 6th anniversary of Fiona's death, at which my alias Dick Oakley was present. Here we go again. What did I not find in 2011? Far, far too much, to be honest. It was 2012 when I was finally diagnosed with COPD. Of course, I found Emma Mattingly's death, just by Googling her name, 13 months after it happened. I finally found that my friend Lynn was indeed dead, because as I said in a previous video, her partner finally decided to put a memorial online nearly 3 years later, on Karen Ann's birthday. It was an extremely traumatic year. And the next thing I know, I have COPD, and it's my turn to put my clogs. People keep saying I can do this, I can do that, and the other. All of these things cost money I don't have. All of them. And there is no respiratory rehab in Wales, or at least not in this part of it.